Sensata, the reason Romney's wrong for America. The headline on a brilliant piece written by Leo Gerard, the international president of the United Steelworkers Union, USW.org. And I'm pleased and honored to have you back with us, Mr. Gerard, President Gerard. Welcome back to the program.
Mr. Gerard, Leo.
Okay, Leo.
It's great to be with you.
So,
Sensata, I love your show, and I'm usually listening to it in the car. So,
okay, well, thank you. Sensata is now owned by Bain Capital. This is a company that manufactures sensing devices for cars, basically car parts, or parts that are used to make cars. Correct me if I'm wrong on any of this. It is making hundreds of millions of dollars a year in profit, and yet still that's not enough for Bain Capital and Mitt Romney, one of Bain's major investors, and its founder.
Yeah, this is a what I would call an ongoing story. Depending where you start, I actually started in 1998 when I don't know if you've seen. I assume you've seen the video that where Romney said he wasn't worried about the 47%.
Right, oh yeah.
In that video, he's also talking about going to China when he was, quote, in the private sector and seeing a plant where people lived 12 to a dorm and they were 24 cents an hour.
And he was so impressed by
it. And he acquired it with personal money, not Bain. That was his personal investment, set up bought by a company he had set up in Bermuda. Mm-hmm. His partner in that was a Chinese company that set up its operation in the British Virgin Islands. And after Romney had been there for 3 years, he left that business behind, and then part of Bain was consulting on how to move a plant to China. So now we get to Sensada, and Sensada, he has $8 million of Bain money in that. Bain owns 51% of Sensada. And the day that they came to the plant to tell people they acquired it is the day they told people that by the end of the year the plant would be closed. And then they brought Chinese workers over to the plant to have the American workers train the Chinese workers. And while the Chinese workers were there, they took down the American flag. And Bain has made, so far this year, almost $800 million from Sensata.
Wow.
And they're going to move these jobs in Freeport, Illinois, that pay on average about $17 an hour. They're going to move them to China, where they're going to pay workers the equivalent of 99 cents an hour.
Well, hey, it's more profit for Mitt Romney that he only has to pay 14.5% income tax on.
Yeah, and the thing is that, again, I refer back. I mean, he wallows in his own poop. I refer back to when he was running against Ted Kennedy, when he was accusing Ted Kennedy of having a trust fund, and Ted Kennedy said it's in a blind trust. Romney's position was, a blind trust is just an old ruse. Even if you got your money in a blind trust, you can tell it what to do.
Right.
Well, he should have told his blind trust not to invest in plants or companies that move jobs offshore.
Didn't he?
If he's truly for creating jobs for American workers, that's what he should have done.
Yeah, didn't he suggest to his blind trust that it should loan or give his son Tag $10 million to start an investment capital firm, or a vulture capital firm?
Yeah, apparently his IRA has got about $120 million, and he's trying to set up each of his sons with $5 million. And one of his sons, I'm not sure which, has investments in a company that makes electronic voting machines.
Yeah, it's pretty bizarre. It's all pretty bizarre. But the bottom line here, Mitt Romney has built his career. He makes his millions. He made millions, tens of millions of dollars last year. Every year, this guy makes tens of millions of dollars, and basically, I mean, he makes it the way Paris Hilton makes her money. Sitting around the pool on your butt waiting for the dividend check to arrive. And therefore, he's part of that special class in America who pays a maximum 15% income tax. And on top of that, hey, this company's making, how much did you say Sensata is making?
Well, the story is that so far Sensata this year has made almost $800 million.
Right, but that's not enough for Mitt Romney and for Bain Capital. They wanted to make, $1 billion, and so, hey, if we can get Chinese.
What he's done, Tom, is it's a ruse, as he called it, with his blind trust.
Right.
He set up a company or operation in Bermuda. It invests in things like Sensata. It makes money, and the money goes into his IRA. So if you were to be able to take the maximum contribution you could make into your IRA over the last 10 years, he'd have about $600,000 in it.
Right.
But because he puts money in his IRA and then uses that money to invest, and he's allowed to keep the return, the story is he's now got $120 million in that.
Right, which is...
And he paid 14% on 14.1 or something on his taxes last year.
Yeah, and probably considerably less than that in previous years.
And I suspect that part of the reason he doesn't want to release those tax years is that there's many, many, many instances where he made money by either closing a facility or by moving it offshore.
Yeah.
And I wasn't able to at first figure out why he was called the godfather of outsourcing until we found these investments he made in 1998 prior to preferential trade negotiations with China, prior to America encouraging China to get into the WTO. So he went there and learned how that stuff works. Then when China got access to the WTO, he then had become a consulting company to teach people how to move their jobs to China, hence making him one of the godfathers of outsourcing.
Now, you said he came back after 3 years. He didn't spend 3 years in China. He had it in...
I don't mean him personally. I mean his investments.
I see. Okay. But he did physically go to China and physically examine this factory. And as you're correct, as he points out on that tape, he was just amazed, marveled by it, and thought it was the most wonderful thing. And people are fighting to get these jobs. In fact, he made that point.
The part that was laughable is when he accepted that the Chinese manager said, no, we have the barbed wire to keep people out.
Right.
These jobs are so good, people want to get in. I don't know anybody in China or anywhere else that wants working for 24 cents an hour.
Yeah. So what this tells us about Mitt Romney, we're talking with Leo Gerard, the International President of the United Steelworkers, USW.org, and about this new article that he wrote for Huffington Post, Sensata, the reason Romney's wrong for America. What are the carry-home lessons in your mind?
Well, the carry-home lesson is that, well, Mitt Romney has been saying that he's been in the private sector 25 years, and he knows how to create jobs. The reality is he doesn't care, doesn't know how to create jobs. What he's known is how to manipulate to create wealth. He's created a lot of wealth for himself, but he hasn't done it by creating jobs.
Well, even in China,
in fact, he's cost us almost 66,000 jobs. There's one study that a professor did from one of the universities that he's bankrupted and destroyed the equivalent of 66,000 jobs.
Amazing. And in fact, I mean, you could make the joke. Yes, he knows how to create jobs in China, but the fact of the matter is, he went over there and bought a factory that was already running.
Yeah, so, and he's also, as I said, there's one plant that it was our plant, Amped, that he destroyed, and he walked off with $10 million. In that plant, the workers were told to build a stage. The fact they were on a video about it, the workers were told to build a stage, and they thought, oh, good, there's going to come with a good announcement. They came to the plant, got on the stage, and told the people they were closing the plant. Yeah, and then escorted them out of the plant with guards. So the worker said, it's the equivalent to being asked to build our own coffin.
Yeah, and this is the Mitt Romney that is running for president of the United States that we all need to know about. Leo Gerard, the International President of the United Steelworkers, Union, USW.org. Leo, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thanks, Tom. And if you go to USW.org, you can see those videos I was talking about.
Great. Thank you very much.